Appreciate you doing this, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, can you introduce yourself to the people,
Sure. Hi.
listeners? Yeah.
My name is Kaustav.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Kolkata.
Okay.
I did my bachelor's in Kolkata from West Bengal University. I did my master's from SUNY Buffalo. I mean, I just completed during this June, and I've been working since then. Yeah, I do have a lot of experience in working in various tech fields. I'm working from 2014. Yeah, I just went back to academics after like working for 5 years, and again I'm starting. Yeah, so that's I mean, in short about myself.
So you, from school, were you always interested in tech, or like was this a field that you eventually landed to? How did this come about? The
I
whole.
always knew that I wanted to be in tech,
Okay.
uh, not maybe computer science.
Would you classify coding as tech, or like would you tech? What field of tech is it? Like
Something related to applied sciences.
applied sciences? Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be in that.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't know that I'll land into something in related to computer science.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always wanted to be in tech.
Yeah.
So my undergrad was in electrical engineering.
Yeah.
So I am always into mathematics and physics. I love that. So I took electrical. But yeah, coming to this is completely out of luck.
The funny thing about this conversation is like we had a lot of offline conversations before this,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of overlap between that. So in Kolkata, the school that you studied, like was it like a CBSE standard like
No, so
system, or
in Kolkata, I'm from a school that's from West Bengal board.
okay,
So yeah,
the state board?
yeah, the state board,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm from a school named Navanalanda High School. So
Okay.
it's a very old traditional school in Kolkata.
Yeah. So do they have like those traditional old school teachers?
Yeah, a lot of them were very. I mean, I won't say old schools, but yeah, legacy teachers, I would say.
And then I believe you went to CU, right? Kolkata University.
So it's more of West Bengal University of Technology.
Okay.
So the engineering department has been moved out from CU. It's now West Bengal University of Technology.
Okay. So what made you do engineering there, as opposed was engineering your like primary focus out of school, or?
Yeah. So I mean, my goal was to get into an a good engineering university.
Yeah.
So I appeared for this West Bengal JEE and AIEEE. So I got into this West Bengal University. So it's in Bengal. It's a very reputed university.
Yeah.
It's a government sponsored reputed university. I went there. So it was one of in my bucket list, and I got there, I would say.
So one thing I'm curious about is like, we have a generation gap between us, right? You're fairly old, little older than me, not fairly, a little older than me, and the way I see people, generations ahead of me thinking is like most of them want to go abroad, even for undergrad. I'm sure your generation must have like that must have been the starting point of like people going abroad, and especially I think North India has a lot more people going abroad compared to South India at an earlier stage, like undergrad. So in your class and in your circle, did you have any experience of like people straight out the bat going abroad, or did they all want to stay inside West Bengal?
No, so I mean, if I talk about proper Kolkata, so people want to go abroad. I mean, there's a section of people who want to go abroad right from their bachelor's. So I always wanted to come to the US. I mean, not only in US, I had US, UK, Germany in my bucket list.
Yeah.
But not. I wanted to do my masters over here, but not undergrad.
Why not?
So I mean, before undergrad, I was not that well exposed to the US education.
Yeah.
So yeah, my view was pretty narrow. So I didn't have that much of exposure about GRE or GMAT or SAT, as I would say. So yeah, while I was doing my undergrad, so many of our seniors were going. So that's how we came to know about masters, about GRE, how to prepare it. But so once I graduated, I started working. So I wouldn't say late, But yeah, I spent some year working in India and in abroad before I eventually started my master's.
Do you have any are you curious about the students nowadays who are like, wanting to go abroad, like from undergrad itself? You not having experience was like a deterring factor for you, and like kids nowadays are like more like they want to just step out of the house and just live, YOLO. So do you have any like questions or like advice for them as to like?
Actually, that's very good. I think this generation is well ahead of what we used to
Yeah,
be. One of the main reasons was internet.
yeah,
So when I was in high school or maybe in the first year, internet was not that available. So we were still using 2G or
okay,
those dial-up internet.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the world was not really exposed to us.
uh-huh.
As of now, I mean, in today's world, it's just in the fingertips. So people have much more exposures. So I think this generation is really
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
doing everything. I mean, we couldn't even imagine doing those.
So I came in undergrad, right? And I noticed that, my dad would always say like, okay, do the traditional path, do undergrad in India, then come to US for masters, so that you have a certain maturity level.
That's correct.
And that maturity level, I was always like curious, like, what is that maturity level? What does that mean? Like, because every person's maturity, some people might have a maturity level at an early stage, and some people might develop it later on. So I was curious to understand like what that meant. So I in US I was fortunate to experience, like in India, if I were to study in India, I would have definitely had that maturity level. But in US I think there are certain experiences that you learn in undergrad that you can't learn in masters, or like you can't learn
Yeah.
elsewhere. So I would say the biggest takeaway in US education is your life experiences in college,
That's correct.
because you won't in India the college system is extremely different from US.
That's correct.
The undergrad experience, I'm saying, even the master's experience is like very academic oriented and similar to the Indian style, but the undergrad experience is it's totally different. So would you say what kind of life experiences did you learn in your undergrad, in as when studying in India?
I think what I personally feel is that we are really blessed to have experience of both the world. Because the experience in India, what we have in India, be it academic or professional, is really is. I tell this to everyone. Like it's. I mean, we're really fortunate to
Yeah.
have both the. I mean, experience of both the worlds. So yeah, I mean, that's. I mean, what I say that the experience we gain in India really helps us to grow and mature.
Would you so the experiences you gain back in college, were you I mean undergrad, would you say you were always like a self-motivated person, or would you be inspired by the successes and were you always like hanging around high achievers, and were you what kind of crowd were you
It's
associated with in college? Were you
it's
like
a
the guy
mixed bag.
who likes to just like socialize and just chill and?
I'm not a socialized person, I would say. So it's a mixed bag, I would say. So some of my friends are really high achievers. I mean, from going to IIMs and IITs, all those stuffs, and I have also laid back friends as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like a mixed bag. I like to mingle with all kinds of people, but yeah, personally, I'm not a very socialized person.
So when you saw like people going abroad immediately after undergrad, um, you chose to work.
Yeah.
Why was that?
I always wanted to have some experience before moving to the US or
Yeah.
having some experience. So as I told you before, so I also have experience from I mean working in other countries as
Right,
well.
right, right.
I wanted to gain that experience before coming to the US, because what I personally believe is that it's good to have some experience in I mean previous experience before moving to US. So that's my personal opinion.
Okay.
You may differ, but yeah, I always wanted to do that.
So you went to a lot of countries and worked there. So your first job, you graduated as a mechanical engineer and
Electrical.
electrical engineer, sorry, and you worked in a in a coal mine. Can you
That's
share a
correct.
little bit about that?
So I was working in the mines of Eastern Coalfields Limited. So they have their power division called Disserver Power. I was working there as a trainee. I was working there for like 3 or 4 4 months maybe, and then I left. I thought that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, yeah,
I left. I joined a startup, a Kolkata-based startup. Yeah, so I was working there as an intern as well for some months, and then I moved to Accenture.
yeah. So that pivot to Accenture, how valuable would you say, I know you mentioned that Accenture has a rigorous training program.
Yeah, yeah.
So till date, how valuable would you say that foundation of the training program is?
I would say from technical point of view, that was one of the best training that I've ever received. So that was a 3 months training, 3 months or 2.5 months training. I don't remember as of now. That was really good. That training was in partnership with Oracle.
Okay.
It was really good. It was rigorous. We had to pass like a couple of tests. A lot of tests were there.
Yeah.
Our employment was at stake,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was valuable.
So that they before that, do you have any prior experience in Java, or was that like your introduction to?
I had prior experience in programming.
Okay.
I would say not Java.
Not Java. Okay.
I had worked. I mean, before Accenture, I had worked with a startup, with a Kolkata-based startup. They were mainly working on the e-commerce space. So I had previous experience in working there. I was mainly working as a business analyst
Okay.
over there. So not exactly technical field. But yeah, I do have had some experience in technology before moving to Accenture. In Accenture, it was a totally technical role.
It's funny you say that, because like my roommate also has a he has a background in HCL,
Okay.
and I think most of these consulting companies like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, they have this rigorous foundational
Yeah,
program
they have.
that kind of develops you into whatever you need to be in the future, right? And I think a background in Java kind of prepares you for any programming role. Would you say, or is that
These kind of these professional trainings that we
yeah,
have for this service based companies are really
yeah,
important, because a person coming out fresh out of college is really not equipped
yeah,
to
definitely,
join
yeah,
the job market. So these are like these trainings are mutually beneficial for the companies and for the candidates as well.
So what would you say to a person who hasn't undergone these trainings, and who has joined a company straight out the bat and without undergoing any training, he has to pick it up from the job? Would you say you have a starting, you have some leverage over him in terms of your career and the knowledge skills you develop?
In today's world, it's you can do self learning. So you have tons of
Yeah,
online free materials, courses,
yeah.
free courses. You can always learn that.
You can always learn that, but I feel like in this environment, like unless people are bound by something, or shown
That's
some
correct.
kind of fear that
That's
okay, you
correct.
have some deadline, you need to do this by this deadline, people will take their own time, and things never get done. So
That's correct.
that environment, I feel like it compresses you into like there's a saying, right? Like pressure
Yeah,
makes
that's
diamonds,
correct.
or
Yeah,
so.
I completely agree with that. But again, I mean, there are a lot of I would say like
Yeah,
platforms like Coursera,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
these are like great platforms as of now, and we can leverage it. I mean, as a fresher, I guess a fresher must leverage those platforms.
So basically, self-motivated people get motivated by anything.
You have to be self-motivated when you progress in your career. You have to keep up with the technology is like will change every now and then. You have to keep up with them, so
Right.
you have to keep learning, so you have to be self-motivated. There's no way out.
Okay. So let's move to your work experience, right? Like you worked in a lot of prominent cities like Mumbai, Tokyo,
Yeah,
and now you're in Atlanta. Before that, you were somewhere else, right?
I was in Yokohama as
Yokohama.
well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In New York.
So is there something common you notice about, like, and you worked in the financial sector?
Yeah.
So is there something common you would say that all of these places do, and something that's different about each of these cities
These cities
that
are, I
you worked
mean,
in?
they are different in a lot of ways. So these are different geographies, as you know,
Yeah,
and the work cultures are really different.
yeah,
So people have different approach to work. The office cultures are really different. How you approach something, the team structures, everything you talk about are really different from each cities.
So the office culture, I feel like in India, it's more tight bound, and you're kind of like a family, and people
Yeah.
people kind of get nosy at sometimes, and in US, people mind their own business. You have to get work done, and then you leave by 9 to 5. Whereas in India, it's like, you come and you have breakfast, and then you have lunch, and
Yeah.
you have your tea, and it's a long day in
Yeah.
India. So in Japan, in Japan also, you said you had like a 12-hour work shift, right?
Yeah,
So
it's very hectic.
do people get more closer there, or is it like people minding their own business and just want to get work done and leave?
If you talk about personal relations, I mean, developing relations with
Developing
colleagues or
relationships, yeah,
teammates,
yeah.
it's much more in India.
Okay.
In US, as you know, it's
Yeah.
more professional. People mind
Yeah,
their
yeah,
own business.
yeah.
In Japan also, it's the same. People mind their own business, but the work culture is very hectic. People generally tend to work 12 hours. I mean, in Japan there's a dearth of human resources, so all the officers are understaffed. So
Understaffed.
yeah,
Wow.
because they have a dearth of human resources.
Okay.
They're trying to get resources from abroad as of now.
Okay.
So it's really important for individuals to take up more responsibilities in Japan. So it's very hectic. I mean, I would say it's very hectic. I mean, not in a negative way, I'm saying, but yeah, you have to be very proactive, work 12 hours, or take up multiple roles.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But in India, it's like more of building relationships.
What made you kind of want to jump to Japan, leaving home, leaving your comfort of Mumbai, and like, what made you want to escape that and go to Japan?
Well, I was working for Nomura,
Okay.
and Nomura is
In Mumbai,
uh, in Kolkata.
in Kolkata. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Nomura is basically a Japan-based investment bank. It has its headquarter in Tokyo. So I got this assignment from Tokyo. So they were building a new platform, and I got this opportunity to manage a team, to manage a whole assignment.
Oh wow. Okay. How many people were under you?
So there were there was a small team under me that was working from India,
Okay.
and I was managing the all the deliveries and all the business from Japan.
Okay. Okay.
So that was a very good opportunity for me. So I grabbed that and I went there.
Yeah.
So I thought it will be a good opportunity for my career, and it was really a good one. So that was actually
You were there for how long?
almost a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So that was my first overseas assignment.
Yeah.
And that was a good experience.
And then you went to Hong Kong.
Yeah, I was there for a bit, but I've worked with a lot of clients from Hong Kong, from Australia,
Okay.
from Mongolia.
Okay. So they were your client from Accenture.
No, I mean, for Nomura, so we were working with Australian Stock Exchange, Hong Kong Stock Exchange.
Okay. Okay.
We're working in TAN with them.
Okay,
So
okay.
I would say they were client I mean, in terms they were client to
Okay.
us.
Okay. Okay.
So we were working with US clients as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
So at what point of time were you like, okay, I need to close everything and I need to study for masters, and I'm going to US, and US is going to be my next chapter. What was your like?
That was always in my list to go back to academics.
Right.
So maybe I'm a year late. I wanted to start a year earlier, but I wanted to complete that assignment in Nomura. So I did that, and after that I appeared for a GRE. So in that terms, I'm a year late. I wanted to start earlier.
Okay.
That was always in my bucket list.
Okay.
To go for a master's.
So your master's was a 2-year course, right? Did you?
It was a 2 years course. I completed in 1.5
1.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then you were kind of grinding your way into.
Yeah, I took 4 courses per semester.
Oh wow. Okay. Usually average is 3.
3, yeah. I took 4 courses. I have friends who have completed in 1 year.
1 year. Wow.
Yeah.
They take summer classes and try to finish it.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you do any internship?
No, I didn't do any internship. I just tried completed it as soon as possible.
For your education, how did you sponsor it? Because I know people find it as a struggle, right?
No, I sponsored it myself.
You had enough.
Yeah, I sponsored it myself.
Do you think that US would be now that you reflect back on your education? Would you say US is there a comparison between US and other countries, or like any countries like EU countries like Germany or Swiss, or Sweden, would you recommend those countries as well, or would you say US is like, no one can beat US,
Frankly speaking, I don't have much of an experience of other countries. Uh, I tried looking into UK. I had some offers from UK as well. I mean, from quality of education, I think UK, US, Germany are at par. I mean, they have world-class universities as well. But the kind of what I say uh, experience that you can get in US is unparalleled. The job market is unparalleled
Yeah,
in US. So I think that's the reason people try to come to US compared to other countries.
Do you have any career goals or like life goals you want to hit by a certain age? And now that you're in US, you have the world as your oyster, right? So do you have like any career goals or any life goals you want to achieve by this
Uh,
age, or
yeah, I
want to do
mean,
in US? Not just career wise, but in terms of like, you know, anything.
one goal is to get an MBA.
MBA, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know when I can do that, but I don't want to go back to academics. So it must be some executive MBA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's in my list as of now, but I don't know when I can do that. But and managing MBA and full-time job is hectic.
It is, yeah. Okay, that's a career goal. Do you have any like financial goals, or now that you're in US, the tech obviously pays a lot here.
Yeah.
So financial goals, any personal goals you have in terms of like accomplishing something, or
Yeah,
I want to maybe doing a startup here, or like start, opening a business here, or any of that sort.
I always wanted to give back something to the society. So that's I mean in the distant future, like going back to universities and maybe mentor the juniors. That's obviously one of the things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
To coach the upcoming generations, and also to tour the world is something that I always wanted to do. So maybe after
Have you had an opportunity to do that in the past, or
to tour the world.
yeah? I mean, you've toured like.
No, not like that one. So like the safaris I'm talking about.
Okay, okay.
So I want to do that, of course, when I have
Just
time.
take a break from everything. And
Yeah.
yeah. What country would you go to?
I have some bucket list. I wanted to do Masai Mara safari.
Where is that?
That's in Africa.
Africa?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go to the Swiss Alps.
Okay.
Yeah, those are something I want to do really.
Do you want to go alone, or do you have like a
Maybe a travel buddy.
travel buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. When do you feel like is the right age to settle down, in your opinion?
I think people should settle down early.
Early. What is for some people early might be like, late 30s or like late 20s. What is early according to you?
I think once you have a stable career, when you think that your career, what you wanted to achieve, you have already achieved. At least by given that age group, you should settle down. You should have a family.
Would you say you're getting closer to that age, or would you say you have a lot more to accomplish?
No, I think I should get closer to that age. I mean, to do that goal, I should do that as of now. Many of my friends have already settled down. I don't fit in that group anymore. So I think, yeah, time is coming.
Okay. So if you want to settle down, would it be here, US, or do you feel like India as a home? You grew up there. Would you want to settle down there, or both?
No, so I think I should have my career in US.
Okay.
Because I always love the opportunities that US gives. So yeah, as of now, I want to have my career in US at least for some time. Then maybe move to India or other countries.
So if you were to stay at a certain place in US and build a house here, would it be Atlanta? Would it be Georgia? Or would it be like somewhere in the West Coast? Or where do you envision yourself like doing that?
I haven't been to West Coast as of now, so I don't know West Coast. So, but people have a fantasy about going to West Coast, Cali, and Silicon Valley. So yeah, I want to see that. But I don't know. I haven't traveled much in US. So, but I mean, the climate should be good. Wherever do I settle, the climate should be good. It shouldn't snow that much. Uh, I have stayed a year. I have stayed for 2 years in Buffalo, and it snows heavily. I don't like that. So it should have a mild
But here,
climate.
Atlanta weather is really good, I would say.
Yeah, it should have a mild climate.
Sadly,
I can't withstand that
yeah,
snow.
yeah. How is Kolkata weather? Is it also very?
It's hot.
It's hot. Okay.
It's hot and humid.
It's a coastal area, right?
It's not coast, but it's not far away from the seas. But it's very hot and humid.
Does have humid also?
Yeah.
Okay. Mumbai is like very.
Mumbai is hot, but not that humid, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, in India, Bangalore has the best climate, I would say.
Bangalore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hot. In Kolkata, the temperature goes like to 40 degrees Celsius. You can't work like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's two more questions I want to ask you. One question is, if you had like one or multiple pieces of advice for me, you've been seeing me, what would it be, and what would it be?
Advice? You are already doing great. So why do you need advice from me? But yeah, of course.
I mean, you're basically my aspirations as I don't want to get into the core software engineering route, and you kind of like have the pieces that I aspire to be like in some ways. You data science, data engineering background. So I kind of align myself with that. So in terms of that, I definitely look up to you in terms of what I want to accomplish. So yeah, I would I would appreciate it if I could like learn more from you, and you could like impart that kind of wisdom.
Sure. Just a small advice. So whatever you want to do, try to figure out early.
Early,
That's by doing that, you will have a lot of time to prepare yourself for that.
I feel like time is, you get a lot of distractions in the US compared to India, right? I don't know, like social media, everything is like, the way I see US is like everyone's trying to exploit something out of everyone, from social media to the internet to everything we see around us. It's manipulated in some kind of form.
correct.
Even the news, right? So in India, I feel like because there was less distractions, it was like purely academic focused. You had some kind of more focus to do things that you wanted to do. Here, as you get more, relaxed and comfortable, your level of focus kind of drops down. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like there are a lot of deterring factors that you face once you.
I don't know, man. I think the opposite, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel the kind of exposures that students get in US universities are much more, better. I don't want to compare like that. I feel it's good because having your attention in a lot of things, doing multitasking is better. In India, our focus remains totally on academics. It's one dimensional, I guess.
But the point I'm trying to make is like, US is like Netflix, right? You have when you go into Netflix, you don't know what to watch. There's abundance of options, and you have like so many choices in front of you that it's like you pick one thing and you're like, I don't know if this is gonna. So you have the leverage to hop around, and but in India, because you're kind of you have like a limited pool of options. You do what everyone else is doing, and you kind of pursue that path, which is not wrong completely. But here, let's say I do a software engineering career, and then I go to a nightclub once, and I like the concept of DJing, and then all of a sudden I decide to be a DJ. People in India can't do that, right? Like you don't have the first of all, you're gonna get shit on by the society and your parents, but you don't. You get my point, right? You don't have that leverage and that capability to do so, which I think it's slowly starting to change, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't follow that traditional path here anymore. At least from what I see, like overall as Indians, I think they're like kind of forced to follow a certain path, but society in general here is.
I think as Indians, we are much more focused. We are, brought up like that to focus in one particular thing. But I like to be, I like to have those choices in my life that I can switch career if I want. if tomorrow, if I don't want to be a software engineer or data engineer,
Yeah.
I should have that leverage to switch my path.
Would you do that? Would you switch like that?
Maybe in the distant future.
Yeah.
But I think I should have that choice of switching, and US provides that. So that's what I like in US. It's much more difficult to do that in India.
If you weren't a software engineer or a tech engineer, what would you be right now?
Cricket has always been my passion.
You'd be a cricketer.
I wanted to be a cricketer.
Did you like pursue it like seriously like?
No, I always wanted to be a cricketer, but my family discouraged it. They said you can't have a career in sports,
Yeah.
especially in India.
It's really competitive, right?
Really competitive,
Yeah.
really, really competitive. So maybe that was a good, good advice that they gave me. Yeah, but I always wanted to be a cricketer.
What was your like? Were you a batsman or a bowler or?
I always try to imitate Ganguly.
Ganguly? Okay.
Yeah, so he was my icon in sports.
Because he's from West Bengal, right? Like.
Not because of that,
Okay.
because of his. I have seen him in his prime form, so I always admired his leadership abilities.
I can't. My mind is blank now. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Yeah. Really appreciate this.
Thank you.